I like to say I have a very pink and dramatic home because with three girls and a teenager, I get to give so much in terms of trying to create the next generation of young women. And there's so much that is so important to me when it comes to my values and level of ethics that I try really hard to instill in them. And I just hope that everything I'm doing is gonna get ingrained and they'll carry it with them. So
So do you have any help with the girls? As you mentioned, you're a single
no
mom.
family around. And like even today, like I had a stiff neck, been feeling under the weather. Like I still have to get them up in the morning, still have to get the snacks and lunches and get their uniforms and get them in the car and there's snow and ice everywhere and drive them to school and it's a lot and it makes it very challenging for me. It's been very challenging work wise because I don't have help with anyone who can do carpools and be here when they're homesick or have days off of school. Um, it's hard to find like a 9 to 5 where I can do in office job.
So it's
Yeah.
quite tough. I really envy you how you do that. You're so strong. And when I look at your videos, you look so fit. So,
Oh,
smile on the face and always motivating others to, go do some workout. What was that point when you thought that this is it? I have the ability and I have the full potential to look after my girls for myself. What made you step out of that relationship?
so that's a good question. I was unhappy for a very long time, and I went through different levels of abuse. And I went through very intense verbal abuse and very intense financial abuse and emotional
Mm.
abuse. I was like, I want out. But I didn't have the confidence to feel like I could do this. Like, I have no money. How am I going to do this all on my own? And then I went through a really difficult time with my oldest daughter. She went through some really, really bad bullying at school. My oldest was only like 7, and I was handling everything from the mornings to everything from drop off, getting kids up and out the door, through the whole day of then taking care of the house, doing the shopping, the dinners, all that, and like the nighttime routine. I felt very alone, and I tried really hard to work on things, but I was receiving, blinders. And I begged and I asked, like, let's do counseling. Let's try, this is how I feel. Let's try to figure out how to make a change. Um, and going through that time, especially when my daughter was being bullied and feeling so alone in the world, they say you're as happy as your happiest child. And my daughter was miserable. And my days were miserable. I was unhappy in my marriage. I was just, everything was, it was so dark. And I realized during that time, like, I am doing so much completely on my own. And I used to tell my ex-husband, I'm like, I kind of feel like I'm already a single mom. Like, I know what it's like to be a single
There's no
mom. I'm carrying the
support.
weight. Yeah, I'm carrying the weight of everything by myself. And there was one incident that happened because during quarantine, things escalated for a lot of people. You're stuck in the house together for a long time, and things were really bad. And I was like, I need out. And there was an incident that happened in front of my girls. And in that exact moment, I remember getting so scared for them. And I was like, if I don't make a change, they're going to think that this is healthy and this is normal. And I'm so
Absolutely.
scared that they're going to end up in a relationship with this kind of abuse or interaction because it's what they know. So they're going to think this is what it's supposed to be. And I decided then in that moment, and there were other incidents that had happened that led me up to that point, but that specific moment, I was like, that's it, I'm done. And
You
you know,
know,
hmm?
you're so brave, and I know some ladies and who come to me for an advice, and I always tell them, look, if you have a son, you have a daughter, you are creating this mindset for your daughter, like it's normal for a man or a husband to hit you, to mentally abuse you, emotionally abuse you, and do whatever. And you're making it so normal for your son to think that it's normal, like to treat a woman like this. It
Yeah.
becomes the normal lifestyle for them when they are grown up. So I was like, what are you giving the society? You are upbringing these kids in an environment where they think it's absolutely normal. And this is my take on it, that I'm really proud of you, Rachel, how you took that decision, because I know those ladies and they're still living in the same situation, and they don't want to change anything because they're scared that we are nothing without that guy, that person. And believe me, when that person was away for some time, she made her way. She
Yeah.
did so well. And when he was back, same situation. She thought, oh, he's changed and this and that. Nothing changed. Everything is the same. It's
Yeah.
just you try and make yourself feel, and you kind of feel, just tricking yourself that it's okay, it's normal, because you're so afraid. So this is very, very brave of you, Rachel, what you did for your girls
Thank
and for
you.
yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it, yeah, it wasn't easy because, when there are children involved, you worry, like, am I, and I think that's kind of why I ended up staying in the relationship so long. I was married for 15 years.
Wow.
It was, yeah, a long time. But by the time I made that decision, it's like, the bricks build up so high, and then it's just
Mm.
like you're done. The emotion is gone and out of it at that
I
point.
think we realize that more when the kids are a bit grown up and they can understand what's going on in the house. We try and ignore the fact of being abused until our kids are really small, because we have this thinking, we are just constantly thinking, oh, they can't understand anything. But I think that point when they're growing up and they can understand, that point hits us. And then
Yes.
we realize. And I think the sooner the better, actually. We shouldn't be waiting for that time, because it's
Yeah,
not good for our mental health.
I agree. And if you're not good with yourself or happy with yourself, how are you going to provide as much happiness that you want to bring to the household and to your
Yeah.
kids? And like you said, it's not healthy for anyone, and it is hard. People struggle. My kids, a broken home. But my daughter, who's now 13, there were moments where she came over to me after the divorce, and she said, as hard as it is going between two homes and as difficult as all this change is, she's like, I'm so happy that you divorced my father.
Because it's good
She
for them.
thanked
They think
me.
it's better,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
I know
Yeah.
someone, this guy, and I worked with him, and he said, when I found out he's like, with the broken family, he's like, I think it's much better. The way they were living together, it's much better. They are now separated. They have their own partners now who understand them, and they're happy with
Yes.
them. So it's much better that they're happy and I'm happy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like when you find someone who understands you, but also treats you like another individual self, as opposed to what they want you to be for them. And, that's kind of what I went through in a sense. Like it was very oppressive in a way.
Narcissist, you can say.
Very much so. Yeah,
Yeah. Because
very
these
much
these
so.
kind of personalities, these kind of people, they want to suppress you, make sure you do what they want you to do. If you
Yeah.
just slip a bit, they will come on your face and tell you that how bad you are.
Oh, there was nothing I could do that was right. Like
Mm.
anything I did and everything I tried, and I always tried. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'll feel some sort of appreciation, like,
Yeah.
or I'll try to talk to him and tell him how I felt. Like, let's do this, let's do that, let's make things better. And it was just always like very negative and very like there was nothing I could do that was right.
So
And
now tell me, forget about that old bit. Tell the
yeah.
ladies what you achieved in terms of your social media thing, and um, again with your business as well. When you moved out, your energy shifted, isn't it? You did
Oh,
so well in
tremendously.
life. So
I there
we need to tell the ladies, like, you don't have to be stuck in a relationship where there is no respect, no love, and no security and no safety. And you are a complete example for those. So I would love to hear how you accomplished all of that.
Yeah, so a big part of who I am, and I always thank God, just my personality in general, I'm a very forward thinking and positive person. So in general, I like to always think, instead of like, well, what if it goes wrong? I like to think, well, what if it goes right? And like all these big things.
Yeah.
And when I was in my marriage, no matter how many times I was told, you know, I was put down, told I can't amount to anything, I can't do anything, this is stupid, this is never going to work, whatever it is. There was always a part of me that felt, no, I believe more in myself and I know that I can do this.
Mm,
And when I got out, I felt so free in terms of being able to make my own decisions. No one's
mm,
holding me back. I didn't feel chained down
mm.
anymore. And I just took the steps to, like, everything that I envisioned myself doing. I was like, I'm just going to go for this. I'm just going to do that. And I focused a lot on gratitude, a lot on positivity,
Yeah.
completely shifted my entire mindset. And I wanted to show my girls also, like, women are strong, and there's a lot that we can do even on our own. And you know what? I've had my struggles, a lot of struggles. And to this day, my daughter always says, she's like, how are you always so positive? Because like, she
I
knows
love
there's
that when you told me last time. It's so
yeah,
funny.
because I do gratitude with my girls. We do gratitude and self-love. So I try to do it every
That's
morning when I take them
beautiful.
to school. Tell me one thing you're grateful for. And it could be as simple as I'm grateful for my nail. It's just shifting your mind into thinking about
Yeah.
something good.
Yeah,
And then suddenly
absolutely.
their wheels start turning and they start mentioning more things. And then I also tell them, tell me something you love about you. Like, just think of one thing you love about yourself. Because it lifts you up once you start thinking more positively. But with all that energy that I had and me wanting to show it to the girls, I created a product that is now available on Amazon. So
Yay.
thank you. I'm working on scaling that business. It's challenging, but I'm working on it. And, my fitness, like you said, I'm very passionate about that. So I push that a lot. And I, I dip my hands in a lot of pots because I believe that anything is possible as long as we believe it. Because
Yes.
as soon as you tell yourself I can't or I'm not sure, that triggers your mind to suddenly think of all the reasons why it won't work. But if
Yeah.
you tell yourself I can do this, you suddenly start thinking how, what can you start to think outside the box, and you get a little
Yeah.
more innovative, and then suddenly things
You need to
happen.
be better interviewer for yourself. You need to ask
Yeah.
better questions. Yeah, reflect on your mistakes rather than blaming yourself. Oh, I can't do this anymore and I've done it wrong, it went wrong. You come back, you reflect on your mistakes, look back, trace back your footsteps and see where did you go wrong and then how you can improve it. And I think that's exactly where you are, and you have, reached, and you will get there, Rachel. I know, I can
Thank you.
see it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And one thing I like to say is I don't like to consider certain things I went through like because people say, "Oh, I made a mistake. I did this wrong." I think as long as you can take what you've gone through as a guidebook and you make the changes to guide you forward in a
Yes.
different, better direction. Was it a learning curve or was it a mistake? So I wouldn't even
Mm.
look at it as a mistake. I just look at it as it's a lesson and it's a learning
Yeah.
curve. And as long as you
Yeah.
can view it that way, then you're like, okay, it's like you always have to challenge yourself. There's
Yeah.
always growth that
Yeah.
needs to be had.
As soon as we try and pull out the negative points and take it positively, even our failures, we can, achieve so much better.
Yeah,
We So that's also my mantra. I'm like, focus, learn from your failures, and every failure takes you to a better place. Because what I have learned and experienced in my life, Rachel, every time I've lost something, like, career wise or anything, I've always got better the next time.
yeah,
And that's because I've been always been resilient, and I wanted to, focus on my future rather than what just happened in the past.
exactly.
Yes, I do take the lessons from it. Yeah. But I don't moan about it. I don't tell myself, like, I'm not going to do anything anymore. I can't do it anymore. No, I think, okay, focus. What is next? And that's it.
Yeah, it's very easy for people to fall into the victim mentality. And something that I heard once, which I think is so great, is it doesn't take any effort for weeds to grow. They'll grow out from the crack of a sidewalk, they'll come right through cement. It's like our minds also, it's so easy for us to think as humans, naturally, we think negatively. You just focus on that dark spot. But if you want to grow, say, roses, you have to, put the seed in, nurture the soil, plant, be patient, wait for it to grow,
Exactly.
and something beautiful can come out of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like a
And
lot of
stop
people,
being sympathetic about for yourself.
yes, yes.
Don't sympathize yourself. Just, stand up again, and, just that's it. Don't sympathize it. You don't need anyone's sympathy. You don't need anyone's validation. Just learn, and, learn new skills, and that's all. I
Yeah,
tell my kids all the time, no sympathy game here, right? Something happened wrong, done and dusted. What is next? Move on.
Exactly.
Don't feel
Exactly.
sorry for yourself. People who feel sorry for themselves can never grow. So stop
Yeah.
feeling sorry for yourself. Don't sympathize yourself. Just be, bad, and then keep
Yes.
going.
I agree 100%. Don't be in the victim mentality, and you have to raise your own standards. You are what you believe you are. You get
Yeah,
what you believe you deserve. And if you
exactly.
believe you deserve more, you're going to figure out how to find it. So
Absolutely.
people have to reframe their mind, and it takes a lot. It's very challenging to do that. But
Mm.
with anything, it's not, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Like it's going to take time, and it should take time, because I have this saying. I think I made it up. I like to say I made it up, because everyone always says like practice makes perfect, and I'm like, no, there is no such thing as perfection, because the second
Yeah,
you think you hit perfect, you think you're done and there's no more
yeah,
growth. So I like to say
absolutely.
practice makes progress, and just keep
Exactly.
working and keep growing, and then like it's endless. You're like there's so much you can
And
do.
this applies to so many other things as well, with confidence and with, like, I've achieved everything in life. No, there is no limit to anything, as long as you're ready to keep going and going. And again, with, like, for example, for confidence, some people say, oh, you're so confident. No, I can still be nervous. It's just that I don't want that to overcome, and I don't want my fears to overcome my confidence. It's
Yeah.
inside me somewhere. I'm still learning. I'm still getting there. It's still there, but it's a long, journey you have to, follow throughout your
Yeah.
life. Just like you learn new skills, the education, the qualifications you get each year. If I look at 2023, I was learning something else. In 2024, something else. 25, something else. And 26, look what I am.
Look at you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So yeah, there is no such thing as you've got it. There is more to get if you're
Yeah.
willing to get it.
And people like to say like, "Oh, well, you're just lucky," like it just happened for you. And I always tell people, I'm like, everyone is given the same exact 24 hours in a day. The difference between your 24 hours and my 24 hours is how you choose to use it. So you're going to
Exactly.
sit and stare at the TV or mope and be in your feelings all day, or are you going to be productive and be a go-getter, and just keep pushing and pushing.
And you
And
know what? Why I don't understand when people say, "Oh, you've got everything and this and that. Why, you want to keep doing other things in life? Why don't you? When are you going to stop?" And I'm like, why do you want me to
no,
stop? I'm never gonna stop. I'm unstoppable. And
good for
whatever
you.
got now, I've done so much work, so much hard work I've put into this.
Yeah.
It was never easy with 3 kids to go back to full-time education again and get the distinction at the same time, take my certification, pass it the first time as well in the same year. So it's,
Yeah,
it's
good
just
for you.
it's the constant hard work. I know how I spend my nights, how I know how I spend my days. You're not living with me, so
Exactly.
people, don't get intimidated when people come to you and say, when are you going to stop? Say, I'm not stopping.
No, never.
And tell them
Unstoppable.
I even fail with style.
Yes, yes, that's it. But there's no such thing again like failure or mistakes. As long as you learned a lesson from it and you took it as a guide, then
Absolutely.
you grew from it, and that's how it should be viewed. So I created a product that is a solution for a common household frustration, where the towels are constantly slipping off, whether it's the bathroom rod, the kitchen oven, or dishwasher, and landing on the floor, which in turn causes you to do a lot more laundry and just creates constant frustration. And for me, it started because my now 10-year-old, for a week straight, on. I'm like, I just hung a towel, but it's on the floor. I'm like, I just did the laundry. And it was day after day after day. And I'm bending down. Like, my butt should be so much better from all these squats. Like, bending and picking up towels nonstop. And I'm like, I need to come up with a resolve, because it's just,
Yeah.
I can only imagine so many people go through this frustration, especially with kids. And then one January night, I'm sitting in bed, and out of nowhere, I'm like, oh, a zipper. I started measuring. The next day, I ran to Walmart and Hobby Lobby, and I started picking up zippers I could find. And I got like a handheld sewing machine, and I made my first prototype, and I hung it in my kid's bathroom. And my sister came over that following week, and she was like, she goes to use the restroom, and she comes out, and she's like, where did you get that towel? It just zips on. And I was like, I made it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna turn this into a product that people can buy. She's like, oh, that's actually really cool.
We need to spread the awareness, and especially for women who think they can't do anything on their own, and they stay in a relationship where they suffer and they die one day. So we need to break that mindset in
Yeah.
the woman, that no, this is not end of the day. God has made us such a strong soul and a person. We have our own identity, and we want to have our own legacy end of the
Yeah.
day. So we have to work
Yeah.
towards it and never depend on anything. Don't let anyone push you down, pull you down, and tell you what to do, because we know what to do.
I agree 100%. And I want to add in, like, it could feel very lonely when people
Yeah.
are on their journey, because you tend to keep these things to yourself and you just feel like you're the only one going through it. But
Yeah.
you're not alone, Like you
Absolutely.
said, we're here to support, and we need to keep letting people know that
Yeah.
just break out of that shell, because
Please join me in this mission, and I really want to empower all the women out there, no matter which background, which culture, wherever you're coming from. We need to stand for each other. There is no race, no competition, and nothing. We are just women, and our lives are so similar in so many ways, and we understand each other more than anyone else can understand. So
yeah,
just stand there for each other and support, and let the world know that we are so good.
that's right. Shine our light.